Folks did that in 1913 and said, we want the people to vote, not the politicians. What's wrong with that? And I don't know the other gentleman's position on this, but I am a no on the repeal of the 17th Amendment.
Thank you, sir. Senator Bill.
Yeah, and Ted, I think this came up in a debate about 4 months ago. We've had many debates, and I think either I misspoke or I was misquoted or it was reported incorrectly. I'm not sure which, but here's my position on it. What I think what the question was, and the Lieutenant Governor and I remember the discussion, my response was, I thought at the time that that was the one amendment that changed the way government worked, because it allowed, before that, our legislatures were able to hold the senators that they appointed responsible if they worked against the interest of the state. That was the whole point. Because your legislators are accountable to the people, they appointed the senators. My point was that many scholars believe that was a point in time where we empowered government. I would not be in position or support repealing it today. I was just making the historical view of it, and I think that was a turning point in how government works. It hasn't worked out, I don't think, as planned, but I would not be in favor of repealing it. The people have been voting for their senators too long.
I would not be in favor of repealing the 17th Amendment, if for no other reasons than pure practicality. It's not going to happen. But at the end of the day, I've spoken about the problem with a mistake in passing the 17th Amendment, because as your Lieutenant Governor, I probably know more than most people about the problems with the unfunded mandates which come down on our shoulders. And this Congress and Washington keeps sending, they're passing the buck, sending it to the states, and ultimately it's costing all of us more money. While we're working as hard as we can to cut your taxes and to cut spending. So it's a real problem. I'm going to give you a break. I've got 12 seconds. When a budget comes out, it's the first draft budget. So it's a draft budget. Ultimately, the last final budget was less money than the budget that you voted for, but still it's a draft.
Texas budget, 12 seconds is never easy, but you did a good job.
Thank you.
If we didn't have direct election of senators, Ted Cruz wouldn't be in the United States Senate today. That's just the reality of where we are. The people spoke because they knew you had a federal government that spent too much and taxed too much and borrowed too much. And I know, Dan, you attacked Ted in that race on your radio show. You ambushed him there and challenged that process. But you know, that's just the reality of where we are today. And empowering you to make those ultimate decisions is what keeps us strong. I don't think we need to repeal the 17th Amendment. I think we as states need to lead and say, Washington, we want a balanced budget amendment. That's the first change in our United States Constitution. It's to balance our budget just like we do here in Texas. That will get federal spending under control and hold people accountable to us when they don't have an open checkbook to spend your dollars unending.
Commissioner Stevens, you have 30 seconds more in this format to rebut something that you heard, and if you don't.
And the reason that we need that balanced budget amendment is because of the way it works here in Texas. Our forefathers said that we meet for 140 days every 2 years and we have to have a balanced budget. Only thing that would be better is if we met for 2 days every 140 years. It'd be safer. We need to make certain that we never abdicate that process, and that's, I think the states need to lead once again. We need to make certain that people in this country remember the federal government was created by the states, not the other way around, ladies and gentlemen.